Srixon ZXi drivers, 3 new heads from Srixon. I game these clubs, so let's show you what I think of them, if they could help you or not. Which head should you go for? Are they too expensive? All the normal questions. And remember, if you like the reviews, hit that subscribe button. Because we've got 3 videos like this coming every week, and I'm getting longer, and I want to show you how I'm getting longer too. So don't miss out on that, and let's see if the iFlex face on the new Srixons is going to help me find my fastest ball speed. 3 new heads. So we've got the Max, as you can imagine, Max friendly, weight back, like the same pattern with most manufacturers. We've then got the Standard, which we see a heel and a toe weight port. Those weights can be switched around to try and dial in your distances. And then we've got the Standard LS, or not the Standard, the LS, where the weight ports go from front to back. So if you want to manipulate the spin up and down that way, you can do that with the LS. And what's interesting with the 3 heads is they all look relatively similar. Yeah, the Max maybe a little bit more hugging down at the back, that gives it an appearance that it's that bit bigger. But 3 very clean looking heads. It comes in this all black top with these kind of dimples on, which I'm sure is for aerodynamics or something, but looks great. Slightly off-colored grey face with this milling on the face, which we'll talk about, and super, super clean. Even the bottom of them, it's like, obviously, aerodynamics is talked about a lot at the moment. The bottom of them is super, super clean, which I love and always have about the Srixon driver that I game. It's just kind of no frills, but possibly works. We'll test. So ZXi Max to start. All of these clubs feature the iFlex face. It's stronger, it's got variable face thickness and allows for thinner center of the face, that more efficient energy transfer at impact is what Srixon are telling us. And all I see is a slightly different colored face to the head, and a head in the Max that looks friendly, but sits super neutral. Oh yeah. Like it's not quiet, it's on the louder side. I would say it's like a firmer sounding driver. The Max has a little bit of ting to it. Little cheeky 166 ball speed there. And my top speed being a 171 ball speed that I've hit twice in my life. So 166 while talking and trying to hit target feels pretty good. It's caught that slightly toey, and again, that's where I'd want the Max to just help me out, which it has. That's going to hit most fairways. It's high toe, so it's probably going to go further on the launch. 163 ball. So even when I'm hitting it a bit high on the toe, 163 ball, well, that's why I'm probably going to end up with the Max. New adjustable necks on these clubs as well. They simplified it, and it's moving at 1.5 degrees. So I've got this down 1.5 from 10.5. This is the Standard, if you like. And I've got the weight port 10 gram in the heel, and the lesser one in the toe. Let's see if it makes it over drawy or not. So from the Standard to the Max, I'm not really seeing a visual difference, a huge visual difference. Similar feeling, like feels good, solid. It's that right in that middle ground for sound. It's nowhere as quiet and dull as the carbon-faced ones, like your TaylorMades, but it's certainly not up there with some of the louder ones. Maybe Cleveland can be a bit louder as well. Oh yes. Oh, cheeky 167. Again, chatting in a review, trying to hit some kind of level of target. 167's a nice ball speed for someone as weak as me. So I think you would go for the Standard over the Max if you wanted to play with those weights at the bottom, because I don't really see because the looks and the feel are so similar. I would just max it out as much as possible. That makes sense. Why lose the Maxness? And that just does feel rocket solid. And I love the way it sits. It's so neutral. ZXi LS, the low spin, you can see the front port and the back port now. So again, you can switch these out. I actually have the weight, the 10 gram at the back, to try and get it not too low spinning. Otherwise, I get big distance, but they can also fall out of the air. And I would say that a low spin definitely sits a little bit more like everything up towards the ball. This bit isn't hugging the ground as much as the Max, which again makes everything feel like it's kind of squatted and push it up towards the front, so which lots of people interpret as a smaller head. It doesn't particularly look it. Got that maybe heely low, not bad for that kind of strike. My word. Don't like to talk about it. 168, get on. Other technologies they all have, we have laser face milling, which does feel nice. This adds stability in the spin rate in different conditions. We've got rebound frame, which they've used for years now, which again, it's maximising face flex for ball speeds. And I do love the fact that they've made the neck as simple and easy with good changeability on it as possible. So really it's three very clean looking, stable performing drivers. That was toey, see how it's turning? That's the trouble with low spin, that'll just curve probably a bit more than if it was the max. Not by huge, the max would still turn, but and that's a 164 on a toe strike. So the numbers are good. We will do the numbers at the end to show you the difference between all three. So before we talk about who might game them, also looking at the actual numbers of the three, remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Loads of free lessons and reviews coming all year. Let's talk about the price. Oh, boom. Oh, we're getting close. So if we look at the prices, lots of people, I would imagine for a Srixon driver, want them to be a bit cheaper. I still don't think people are putting Srixon drivers maybe in the driver world with other manufacturers. The irons, I think they do. I think the drivers have still got a way to go in marketing people's minds. Performance-wise, as you're seeing, and looks and tech, they're packed. Are they expensive? Yeah, they're really expensive. They are kind of batting with some big players in that kind of price range. What do you think? Would you spend that on a Srixon driver, or would you think, no, I want actually, you know, a TaylorMade or a Callaway or something like that? Titleist, those brands that sometimes people do relate more to drivers. I don't know, let me know in the comments, but nothing's cheap these days, and these definitely are not cheap. So let's talk about who would game which one. I mean, I think the Max should be gamed by more people than maybe don't, who have ego issues. I mean, I'm gonna go probably for the Max, because I can get speeds out of it. Oh, I didn't control the face on that one. That's a cut. I can get the speeds I want out of it, but I'm just gonna be delivered as much help as possible. I mean, if I don't get the face right though, nothing helps. So if my face angle is wrong, this is where I think people get confused sometimes. That was struck out the middle, so it did what my delivery it was like equal to the ball. What I delivered, the ball came out. Nothing's gonna save that. But if I toe it or heel it, it's still going to go offline, but possibly a little less than something like the low spin. The low spin generally is going to be aimed at your better player, people who might want to tinker with weight ports as well to get two options. I'm finding these weight ports are moving it around 200 revs, 300 at the max from heavy weight at the back to at the front. So that's the spin rate changing. So it's a small dialing, but I think people might like the look of the LS if you're that kind of higher speed player a bit more. And if you do want to keep the spin down, this one will do it, which we'll show you in the numbers. So for most people watching it, it'll be a real battle between the Max and the Standard. And obviously the Standard with the weight ports allowing you to put it into a fraction more draw bias or fade bias might be what swayed you towards that. But it would be so small. I do think most people, I mean, if people were coming fit to me, I would be starting definitely somewhere up more towards the Max and moving from there. Look at it. I mean, that's the Max, and that is just a rocket. So as I try to get my speeds up near top to show you if I can get my fastest ball speed with one of these, my fastest ball speed came with my old Srixon driver. Let's look at the exact numbers. So I found that the Max and the Standard basically spun pretty much the same. I found them around a 2.4 to 2.5 spin model. Average carry with them was over 280 yards, which is great for me. And the ball speeds were averaging 166 with both. That's average, which is really high for me. The LS was just spinning around 300 revs less. So that was spinning more down the 2.2 kind of range. And the ball speed average is say 166. I did get my fastest ball speed in that test with the LS at 168. But all of those drivers doing exactly what you'd imagine. Just good solid numbers that will allow you to choose which way you want to be fitted for your driver. Three good drivers there from Srixon. What do you think? Comments down below. Do you think I could hit a 170 ball speed just as we wrap this video up? What do you reckon in the comments? Yes or no? I'm going to have myself throw, let's go 5 goes at it. Whoever hung around, you've got a treat. Come on. If you're not subscribed, come on. You've got to smash that like button for that. 171. That is, oh my word, my joint fastest. Come on, max me out. Max me.